This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Fulcrum Metals PLC has released an update on their exploration activities on the Big Bear and Jackfish properties that are part of the Schreiber Hemlow project in Canada. The company engaged Murphy Geological Services to conduct a regional structural study based on satellite data, which has identified 42 priority exploration targets within the two properties. Of these, 14 have been ranked as high priority for follow-up, with 9 on Big Bear and 5 on Jackfish. The targets are based on several criteria, including the presence of major shears, prominent aeromagnetic lineaments, and anomalous values from soil and rock samples. Now, follow-up field work is currently being planned and commencing as soon as ground conditions in Ontario allow. Well, joining me today is CEO of Fulcrum Metals, Ryan Mead, to elaborate a little bit more. Welcome, Ryan. How are you doing?
Morning, Mark. I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Could you elaborate on the criteria used to identify the priority exploration targets and how they were ranked?
So the satellite data is based on Sentinel-2, Pleiades, and Landsat data. And what that does, it has a look at a lot of geological features, as you've just said. And then it basically is a predictive tool for exploration targets. So it pulls out these exploration targets for you, and then it will rank them depending on the mineralization that's been discovered there to date. So really pleasingly, it actually identified 42 targets. And out of those, we've got 14 high priority targets. So it's a fantastic result. And this is the first kind of study that's been undertaken in this area. And what that does is it really pulls together all the historic information and the work in the field that we've been doing. And we're really pleased with the outcome.
Excellent. Okay. Well, can I ask you how confident you are in the potential of the Schreiber Hemlow properties based on the results of this study and combining their, as you've just mentioned, the previous exploration activities? How does it make you and the team feel?
Well, what this study has done is actually twofold. So what it's done is corroborate the in-the-field results that we've had to date. So in the Schreiber area, where we've had multiple gold in rock samples above 10 grams a tonne, up to 45 grams a tonne, that's been churned out as a priority target according to the survey. And over on Jackfish, the work we conducted before the IPO, where we identified a 1 square kilometre area, which is the only area we looked at so far, which has widespread anomalous gold with gold values in rock all the way up to 39.8 grams a tonne. So what this survey has done is absolutely verified that the work that we've done up to date is a sound geological model. But what the work on the ground's also done is verified that the structural survey is also we can apply importance on that data set, and therefore all the other priority areas that have been identified are of serious interest to the company, and that's what we're looking at now. Which of those areas are we going to get out to first?
Okay, well, just thinking on that then, and the follow-up field work that mentioned in the RNS is currently being planned. What kind of timeline do you have in mind for this to go ahead?
Yeah, so it's all in the previous RNS releases and publicly available information. We want to get out to Big Bear and get drilling this year. So this is another step in that journey. We've obviously been working on what we need to do in the Schreiber area to get out there and drill this year. And there were areas of interest to us, which this survey has absolutely endorsed our belief in the prospectivity. So, if you do have a look at the survey, I think the diagrams are included in the RNS. There are several areas. We are in the process of, outside of the Schreiber area, prioritising what areas we want to get out to. We're obviously building up to get out onto Big Bear and Jackfish this year as soon as the conditions allow, which I would expect to be around the mid to end of May time. So there's not a lot of time before things get very exciting for us.
Indeed. So mid to end of May is not too long away, but you're working on, I guess your team are working right now quite feverishly to get those plans that you know, to get out on the ground and start doing some of that fieldwork as soon as you possibly can in about May time.
Absolutely. So we already had a framework put together what we want to do. So what we're going to do now is just really tighten that up and get all the contractors in place to do that, which we'll be able to, come back to the market and tell everybody exactly what our plans are in the not too distant future.
Excellent. Well, I hope we can maybe do a bit of a special feature with you, Ryan, or someone else in the Fulcrum team when those plans are actually drawn out. We can actually have a good look at what you plan to do before you actually go out into the field. But for now, thank you very much for your time, Ryan Mee, CEO of Fulcrum Metals.
Cheers, Mark. It's been a pleasure.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.